everybody? It's JT Sports and Match you guys with another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about players the Buffalo Bills should target in free agency. And before I get into it, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel because I upload NFL videos, XFL videos, and college football videos daily. And please hit that like button. It doesn't matter even if you don't subscribe to the channel. Just hit that like button, because when you hit that like button, it helps this channel, or it helps this video rank higher, and the YouTube algorithm helps this video rank higher in the search, which drives more viewers to my channel, which ends up helping me get more subscribers. So please, if you don't subscribe to the channel or do anything else, please hit that like button. Please. It really helps with the video and helps with the channel. So the players the Buffalo Bills should target in free agency. So the Buffalo Bills, in my opinion, they need to have a big offseason. Now, over the last couple of seasons, the Buffalo Bills have been establishing the culture of their franchise. They've been bringing in solid free agents, guys who a lot of people don't really pay a lot of attention to, but guys who can come in and produce, right? Now, they brought those guys in. Those guys have did really well. They set a culture in the locker room. They've proven that they have a good coaching staff. They've proven that they know what it takes to win games. Now they need to bring in big name players to help them get over the top and potentially try to dethrone the New England Patriots. Because it doesn't matter if Tom Brady leaves. The New England Patriots are still going to be a formidable threat in the AFC because they have a great coaching staff. You cannot overlook good coaching. When you have a great coach, it doesn't matter who you lose, who you have on your roster. If you have a great coaching staff, you're still going to be able to win games. So if you're the Buffalo Bills, even if Tom Brady leaves, it's still not going to be an easy cakewalk in trying to win the AFC East. Now, it does make it a little bit easier, but it's still going to be pretty hard. So for the Buffalo Bills, they need to get some big name guys in free agency. And I really wouldn't take age into a factor, in my opinion, because the Buffalo Bills, I think they actually have a Super Bowl window, and it starts right now. Now, they have a young defense, they have young players in the offense. Those players are not going to be young forever. So I think the Buffalo Bills right now are dark horse Super Bowl contenders, and it all depends on what they do in free agency. Now, the Buffalo Bills have a lot of cap space. I think they're one of the teams that has one of the most cap space in free agency. Going into free agency, I think they're like top 5 in the NFL in cap space available. So for the Buffalo Bills, they need to bring in some big name guys. And I think the first guy who they should try to target is rusher / pass rusher Clowney. Now, in 2019, he had 21 tackles, 3 sacks, and 4 forced fumbles. Now, I know you guys might be looking at me like, JT, those stats aren't impressive. Stats don't always tell the story when it comes to how good a player is. Clowney, although his stats may not look great, when he was able to stay healthy, because he did have a little bit of the injury bug last season, when he was able to stay healthy and stay on the field for the Seattle Seahawks, he was a game changer. He had 4 forced fumbles. This guy was a machine, and he was getting pressure on the quarterback. Sometimes those didn't always result in sacks because most of the time they were accounting for Clowney. Sometimes we get double teamed or whatnot. But Clowney, when he was able to stay healthy and stay on the field for the Seattle Seahawks, was really impactful. Now, he's going to demand a lot of money. And the Buffalo Bills, if they want to bring in a guy like a Clowney, they're going to have to dish out some money. But if you're the Buffalo Bills and you want to win championships and you want to end up trying to dethrone the New England Patriots, you're going to have to dish out some money. Even the New England Patriots a couple of seasons ago had to dish out some big money to bring in Stephon Gilmore. So being cheap doesn't win championships in the NFL. You're going to have to be able to throw out some money if you want to be able to win. And for the Buffalo Bills, you're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to go far in the playoffs or end up winning the Super Bowl by being cheap in free agency. So if you're the Buffalo Bills, you need to go ahead, empty your purse, empty your pocketbook, empty your wallet, and throw that big money at Clowney, because I think he is really worth it. Another guy who I think the Buffalo Bills should go after in free agency is they need to go after wide receiver A.J. Green. Now, A.J. Green did battle injuries over the last couple of seasons, but last year he didn't even play at all. So he's fully healthy. He is 100%. And the Buffalo Bills need a true number 1 wide receiver, and that's what A.J. Green is. Now, the mark for A.J. Green, I don't really know. I don't know how big of a contract he's going to demand, but he is 32 or 31 years old, so he is a little bit up there in age. He does have a little bit of mileage, but I think for the Buffalo Bills, they shouldn't really look at age as a big determining factor when it comes to bringing in a guy like A.J. Green, because they need to look at it as right now they have a chance to win the Super Bowl. This is the Buffalo Bills Super Bowl window, depending on what they do in free agency. So they need to bring in some big name guys. And I think A.J. Green is the best wide receiver available that is going to be in the free agency market. So for the Buffalo Bills, you need to bring in A.J. Green. A.J. Green still has a lot of good years left in the tank, and he can be that true number one wide receiver because John Brown, listen, I love John Brown, but he's not a true number one wide receiver. He's a good slot receiver. He's a good number 2 wide receiver. But John Brown is not good enough to be a number 1 wide receiver. He's just a good deep threat. When it comes to the intermediate routes and keeping the chains going, that's what A.J. Green can be. He can be a guy who you can constantly look to throw to on third downs as a safety blanket for Josh Allen. He also has a large catch radius as well. I think he's, like 6'2 or 6'3", so he's really tall as well, and he's also going to be a good red zone weapon. So I really think the Buffalo Bills should go after A.J. Green. I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, A.J. Green's old, he's injury prone, this and that and the third. Listen, if you're the Buffalo Bills, you need to sign A.J. Green. He's the best wide receiver available, and it doesn't matter if you feel you could draft a good number 1 wide receiver in the draft. You don't know how good that wide receiver is going to turn out. Versus a guy like A.J. Green, you know what you're going to get out of A.J. Green. When A.J. Green is fully healthy, you're getting one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. So I think the Buffalo Bills should try to get A.J. Green in free agency. Now, the Buffalo Bills don't want to go after a guy like free agency and a guy like A.J. Green in free agency. I think they should try to target Robbie Anderson. Now, Robbie Anderson isn't a guy that I particularly am really high on when it comes to his fit with the Buffalo Bills, simply for the fact that Robbie Anderson, I don't really feel confident in Robbie Anderson being a number 1 wide receiver, simply for the fact that he's just, in my opinion, he is a one-trick pony. He is the ultimate deep threat. He's one of the best deep threats that we have in the NFL. But my question with Robbie Anderson is, can he give you those big third down catches to keep the chains moving? Or can he be a good red zone weapon inside the red zone? Those are the things I'm not really sure about when it comes to a guy like Robbie Anderson. But he is a good fit for the Buffalo Bills for the fact that Josh Allen has one of the strongest arms in the NFL, and he likes to throw the ball deep. So you surround Josh Allen with good deep ball weapons, and that's what Robbie Anderson will give you. Now, personally, I would prefer the Buffalo Bills to sign A.J. Green over Robbie Anderson because A.J. Green is a wide receiver who can do everything. He can keep the chains moving. He can also be a very good deep threat as well. He's also very good in the red zone. But, I mean, I still don't think you can go wrong with getting a guy like Robbie Anderson. Now, he's probably going to demand more money than A.J. Green. I don't really know what the market is going to be for A.J. Green because he's a little bit up there in age and also his injury concerns as well. So that might lower the asking price for A.J. Green. But for Robbie Anderson, he might break the bank a little bit. So I think the Buffalo Bills, I would prefer to have A.J. Green, but you can't go wrong with having Robbie Anderson. I mean, Robbie Anderson had 52 receptions, 779 receiving yards, and 5 touchdowns. And his stats probably could have been a lot better. He probably could have ended up being a Pro Bowler if Sam Darnold never ended up missing a couple of games due to the mono that he was suffering from, which kept him out a couple of games. So that also suffered Robbie Anderson's production as well. So if Sam Darnold played the full season, I think Robbie Anderson probably could have had 1,000 receiving yards. He probably could have had around 70 receptions. So, I mean, Robbie Anderson, I would prefer to have A.J. Green, but Robbie Anderson, you can't go wrong bringing a guy like Robbie Anderson. I think he will be an upgrade over a guy like a John Brown and Cole Beasley. And another wide receiver, probably the last receiver on this list that I think the Buffalo Bills should bring in is wide receiver DeMarcus Robinson. Now, DeMarcus Robinson kind of got overshadowed when he was playing for the Kansas City Chiefs because of how deep their wide receiving core is. But DeMarcus Robinson is a guy who the Buffalo Bills can bring in on, I don't think he's going to have, I think his market value is pretty moderate. I don't think he's going to demand a very cheap contract, but I don't think he's going to demand anything that breaks the bank. I think he's going to be something in between. So he had 32 receptions, 449 receiving yards, and 4 touchdowns last year. So DeMarcus Robinson, I think, is capable of being a number 1 wide receiver. I think he's really good. He can give you some good games, some good production. The question is, we've never seen DeMarcus Robinson play that number 1 wide receiver role, which is the biggest question about DeMarcus Robinson. So DeMarcus Robinson is young. That's the good thing about DeMarcus Robinson. He's young, so the Buffalo Bills sign him. They can sign him to a long-term deal, 4 or 5 years, and you can get a lot of good things out of DeMarcus Robinson. DeMarcus Robinson, I think, has a lot of potential. It's just that we didn't really get to see that potential on tap because of how crowded of a wide receiver depth chart that the Kansas City Chiefs had. So I think if the Buffalo Bills don't want to break the bank with Robbie Anderson and they don't seemingly trust giving a guy like an AJ Green the money that he might ask, I think you could bring in a guy like a DeMarcus Robinson. I still think bringing in DeMarcus Robinson will be an upgrade at the wide receiver position for the Buffalo Bills, and I do think he would improve the Buffalo Bills wide receiver position. And the last guy that I think the Buffalo Bills should target, which I think this is probably the most realistic target than anybody on this list, is edge rusher Yannick Ngakoue. Now, out of the past websites and blogs I'll be reading, I've been seeing a lot of articles tying Yannick Ngakoue to the Buffalo Bills. So if Yannick Ngakoue does hit free agency, which it looks like the Jacksonville Jaguars are just getting rid of players left and right, I think he would be a good addition. He's physical, he's big, he's tall, he's everything that the Buffalo Bills want and a guy playing on their defensive line of being a pass rusher, because a lot of guys playing on that defensive line for the Buffalo Bills are big and are physical guys. And I think that's something that Yannick Ngakoue has when it stands out, because Yannick Ngakoue is a big, imposing, he's really big, he's really tall. I actually saw Yannick Ngakoue a year ago. He came to my school. He was giving like some kind of speech. This guy is extremely tall, extremely huge. So he's everything that Buffalo wants and having on the defensive line for the Buffalo Bills. So Yannick Ngakoue, I could really see the Buffalo Bills signing Yannick Ngakoue in free agency. Now, he is going to demand a pretty hefty salary, but I think it's well worth it. So, let me know what you guys think about this list down in the comment section down below. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and content, and thanks for watching.